Hello, I'm Patty Simpson, and I'm your online contemporary mathematics instructor for this summer. So I'm going to, in this video, tell you the ins and outs of the course, and hopefully I can answer all your questions before you even have them. So let's begin by looking at our D2L page. So hopefully you can get into our D2L page online. And once you get into our D2L page, on this very first page, we'll have news items. And then also within this D2L page, I'll have our syllabus and other information up under content. And the grades I'll put up at the end of the semester, but really everything you're going to need throughout the semester will be on my math lab. And hopefully you received an email from me regarding my math lab and how to access that. But if not, this PDF right here has that information on there again. So here's the link to my math lab. And then it also has our course ID that you need in order to register for the course. You can buy this code at the Temple College bookstore, or online there through Pearson at this site. And again, this is the code you're going to need for the course. You don't have to have the textbook unless you want a hard copy of it, because the online textbook is, you can access that through the online site. So once you click on this link, or you go to this Pearson link, it'll take you to my math lab. The first thing you'll need to do is register and use that course ID in order to register. And you'll have to have your access code in order to do that as well. So you need to, first thing, get that done. If you're not registered by the second day of class, I have to drop you due to inactivity. So make sure you get that done May 30th or June 1st. Once you get signed into and registered into our course, into Contemporary, and you click on the course, it'll look like this. This is our home page. And again, I'll put announcements here throughout the course. And really, you'll only need to come to my math lab from this point forward. You really don't need the D2L unless you've forgotten some sort of information. So the announcements are here, and then all of your work and things that you'll need, the tabs for those are here on the left. We'll start with homework, and I'll show you how the homework is going to work. Okay, so I clicked on the homework tab, and here are the different assignments. And notice that there's videos and additional resources. Sometimes there are interactive videos for the different sections. These videos and additional resources are just things to help you to learn the material, but they are not graded. So notice if it doesn't have a due date on it, then it's not part of the grade. The homework is going to be worth 20% of your grade, and you'll see that the homework can be 100%. There's really no reason that it shouldn't be 100%. So once you've watched the video and made sure that you kind of understand the lesson, then you can go into the homework and work the homework problems. And notice that this particular homework assignment has 30 questions. That's the most that any of them are going to have. Most of them have 25, 20, maybe even just 15, but this is a real, each question is short, so that's why there's so many questions on there. But you go through and answer the questions for each one. Notice that I didn't make 100, and I want to make 100% on each one of my homework grades. So what I can do is I can click the one that I missed. See this question I missed. And oh no, I missed it. But notice down here at the bottom it says similar question. Even as you're working the problems, if you miss one, down at the bottom, it'll have this little button that says similar questions. So you can, first of all, you can go, maybe I just made a little mistake. Or if you want to get help from your questions, here there's different ways for you to get help. there's a Help Me Solve This button that helps walk you through the question, and then it'll give you a similar question to work on your own. There's a View an Example button that gives you a similar question to this already worked out, and then you can kind of use that to help you learn what you need to do for this question. Your textbook to read, it'll send you to that section to let you look at some examples. This Ask My Instructor button sends me an email of this question and your answer. Now, notice that it's an email. I'm not going to get that instantaneously. I'll try to answer those emails within 24 hours, but it's not going to be an instantaneous response. Additionally, it's kind of hard for me to answer things through email. So I'm going to give you my cell phone number, and we'll talk a little bit later about how to use that cell phone number so that you can get help throughout the course. This print button, not only can you print that question, but you can also print your entire assignment if you would like to. Some people like to work it on paper pencil, and it is smart for you to keep a notebook of your work and write down as you go each one of the problems and kind of what you're doing. That'll help you to study for the quizzes and again for the midterm and final exam. So it'll be really smart for you to keep a notebook. It's tempting just to do everything online and just click online, but then you don't have the information you need when it's time to take quizzes and to take the midterm and final. So you'll probably want to keep a notebook of information so that you can see exactly how to work the problems and what you did in each section. So there's the homework. Oh, so let me just fix this. So 10 is an element, so I need to say that that is a true statement. I'm going to check it, and notice now when I look at this, I now have 100%. I got them all right, and I have 100%. Yay! So on every one of your homeworks, you should be able to go back and make 100%. Chapters 2, 10, and 11 are all due July 6th, along with the midterm. And that's a firm due date. Now, this course is all up there, so you can work on it at your own pace. And so if you are going to go on vacation for a week, cruise to Alaska or something, then you can do that as long as you can work and make sure that you get chapters 2, 10, and 11 done before July 6th. So, you know, you can work real hard for a week, be off for a week, whatever, as long as chapters 2, 10, and 11 are done by July 6th, and then chapters 12 and 13 and the final exam are due August the 9th. Then, in addition to homework, which is 20% of your grade, you also have quizzes. The quizzes are also worth 20% of your grade. There will be a quiz over each of the chapters, chapter 2, 10, 11. All those are due July 6th. Chapter 12 and 13 will be due August the 9th, and they'll be showing on your screen when you log in. When you click on the quiz, notice a couple of things. First of all, you only have 2 attempts at the quizzes. So it's not like the homework where you can keep doing similar exercises until you get 100. You only have 2 tries with the quizzes. In addition to that, you have a time limit. There's only 120 minutes left on each of the quizzes. And there are 20 questions on each of the quizzes. So that gives you like 6 minutes each for each question. So make sure that when you get ready to take the quiz that you're in a period where you're not going to be interrupted, where you're going to have good internet, so that you're not interrupted during this quiz. It is timed, and there are only 2 attempts with it. And that's worth 20% of your grade. So you have homeworks. There are 4 or 5 sections for each chapter, and then at the end of each chapter, you have a quiz to go along with it. In addition to that, there's the midterm, which is 30% of your grade, and the final exam, which is 30% of your grade. For both the midterm and the final exam, you will have to go to a testing center to take the exam. And the exam will be a paper pencil exam. with a limited multiple choice questions. So make sure that as you're working through these problems, doing the homework and the quizzes, that you really understand the information, so that when you get ready to take that midterm and that final exam, which are each 30% of your grade, so 60% total there with those exams, that you really understand what you're doing. You should have a practice online to help you out, but both of those have to be done in the testing center. When you go to the testing center, you will need to take a student ID with you in order for you to be able to take the exam. And all you'll need when you go is a writing utensil, and then you can take a calculator. That calculator will have to be cleared though once you get into the testing center. Okay, the other tabs on here, you have your grade book. This grade book will show you the grades as you've worked through. So I can see the different grades on the assignments I've worked. I need to go back in and work on this one. I haven't gotten 100% there, and nor on that one, so I need to make sure that I continue to work on those assignments. This one I have 100 though. Notice that these guys, while I've watched them, so it gave me 100%, they are omitted because they're not part of your grade. Only the homework and quizzes and midterm and final are part of the grade. And so this will calculate your percentage, but notice that 35%, it's part of the reason for that is because I have this 5% and this 0%. You want this to be 100% for your homework, so that if you mess up on the quizzes or on the midterm and final, this will really help out. There's also your textbook online and some additional resources there, but everything you need is right here in MyLabs Plus. So let me go back to that whole text messaging thing. It's kind of hard over internet for me to help you with your course. You've chosen to take an online class, so hopefully you can learn a lot of the information there. Puts a lot of burden on your shoulders to be able to learn the information by watching the videos here or reading that additional information that's provided. You can also do things like Google symbols and terminology and sets or permutation and combinations. You can Google those things and you'll find other videos on YouTube, or like Khan Academy is a good resource where you can go out and research a little bit more to find out more about the subject. But if you're working through the homework and you're just really struggling and you're not sure what to do, I'm providing you my cell phone number so that you can text and ask me questions. So hopefully you got an email about my cell phone number. If not, you can look on D2L for my number, but I'll just give it to you here. It's 817-357-5506. And here's how I want you to use that cell phone number. As you're working and you come across a problem that you're having trouble with, you can send me a text message of the problem. Now, when you get ready to send me a text message, you'll need to send me a picture of the problem that you're working on, as well as your work, so that I can help you out with the problem. So, for instance, here is someone who sent me a picture of their problem, and then they sent me a picture of their work, and they're like, hey, what did I do wrong? Sometimes I get problems where people are like, I don't understand what it's asking. Can you walk me through it? And I can walk you through the problem. But text messaging seems to be the best way for me to be able to almost instantaneously answer your questions. And then I can do things like go, hey, what was 10 times 9? You got 60 there, but what is 10 times 9? It should be 90. I can find those little mistakes that you're making to help you so that you don't get quite so frustrated. The text messaging is also good because I can send you pictures back, as well as you sending me pictures and me walking you through it. Now, people ask me, Ms. Simpson, when can I text message you? Well, the answer to that question is whenever you need me. So you may be working on this homework at 6 a.m. and you can send me a text message then. Don't worry about whether I'm awake or not. If I'm not awake, then I won't answer instantaneously. But as soon as I do wake up, I'll check my text messages and I'll respond to it. Uh, I also won't respond while I'm in class, and I'm in class this summer every day from 10:15 to noon, so I can't respond during that time. If I'm driving, I won't respond if I happen to be at the movies or something. But as soon as I'm done with that, whatever that activity is, I will respond. So this is a faster way to get a hold of me than, say, email. With emails, I will respond within 24 hours, but the text messaging, a lot of times it's just instantaneous. So it's just a good way for you to contact me. And again, the best way to do it is to send me a picture of the problem as well as your work so that I can help walk you through that. So hopefully this has answered the questions that you might have about the class. Just some really important things for you to know is that the homework and quizzes are both 20% of the grade. Chapters 2, 10, and 11, plus the midterm are all due July 6th, and that's a firm due date. And then chapters 12, 13, and the final exam are due August the 9th. So if you have any other questions, feel free to email me or text me, and hopefully I can answer those questions for you. All right, we're going to have a great semester.